Hi guys, welcome back to the channel. Today we have the Under Armour Shadow Elite 3 in the Pitch Viper colorway. I've already reviewed this generation, but these are slightly different from the other colorways. I'll get into all of the details for you on this review. Under Armour has had a few Shadow Elite colorways since its black-red launch, but they decided to do something a little bit different this time. The Shadow Elite 3 launched early this year for $220, but this pink, more limited colorway are priced at $230. They are not numbered, but there are only 1,200 pairs that were produced. The upper is still IntelliKnit, which is the brand's knitted material that has a little bit of stretch. They have also applied their never wet material to the entire upper versus just the red sections that we saw in the launch. This material is water resistant and also provides a bit of additional grip. This is the main difference between this special colorway and the other releases. Despite the difference in this upper, you still get that sock-like feel, and the coating helps put additional structure on the boot. In my opinion, this makes the experience better because it keeps your feet secured. They kept the knitted collar, which I would argue has a better transition in the launch colorway. This is because the knit you feel remains consistent in the outside and inside, which is not the case here. It's not a bad thing, it just gives you a different sensation. In terms of the lacing system, it's pretty standard, but I will say the lack of a tongue does make this boot feel a little bit like a laceless boot. Also, they are relatively thin, but do have more volume than the last generation. Moving on to the sole plate, they kept their fully carbon fiber plate that is a pretty solid build and has a good amount of snap. The studs are bladed and positioned to give you the most traction. As I've said in my other Elite 3 review, you really only want to use these on natural grass because you're at risk to hurt yourself otherwise. The fully bladed pattern, lack of conical studs, and long studs make these a very dangerous combination. However, if you're looking for something very aggressive, then you'll really like these. In terms of fit, these are pretty comfortable out of the box, but not as comfortable as the other colorways. The never wet coating gives this boot more structure, therefore making it more rigid, which I personally like, but you do sacrifice a little bit of comfort. Judging by the initial fit and feel, I would say these would probably take about 4 to 5 sessions to break in. If you're looking at trying out a pair for yourself, I would recommend going true to size. I normally wear a size 8 US, and the ones on my feet now are a size 8 US. Now let's review the biggest win and loss of these boots. The win here is that Under Armour is clearly a brand that does not fear experimenting. It feels like brands are being less experimental with their silos, and it's starting to show with releases like these. Although they're at a $230 price point, which is below the average speed boot price in the market, I feel like a lot of people won't give these a shot, and I encourage them to do so. Only if you're playing on natural grass though. The biggest loss, which I've said about each Shadow Elite release, is that the sole plate really limits the number of people who can wear them. Personally, I would never use these on turf because they're simply too aggressive. However, I would put these up there as the most aggressive sole plates in the market next to the Puma Ultra 5 Carbon. That's the Under Armour Shadow Elite 3 Pitch Viper for you. I'll leave a few links in the description in case you're interested in buying these. If you have any questions or opinions about these, leave them down below and I'll answer them as they come. See you on the next one.